From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. Radio Pilipinas World Service can also be heard on shortwave broadcast through the shortwave facilities of the United States Agency for Global Media or Voice of America on the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. I'm your host, Leo Magpayo, and this is Dateline Malacañang in Review. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. arrived in the United Arab Emirates or UAE late Monday evening for a working visit, following an invitation from UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The president's aircraft landed at 11:09 in the evening local time at Al Bateen Airport in Abu Dhabi. He was welcomed by UAE Minister of State His Excellency Saeed Al Hajeri, along with Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro and Philippine Ambassador to the UAE Alfonso Ver. During his stay, President Marcos will join fellow world leaders at Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week or ADSW, a major international forum focused on unified global action to address challenges in energy, water, finance, food security, and environmental protection. In a statement before his departure, the president said the Philippines aims to contribute actively to these discussions, sharing national perspectives while learning from other global leaders. A key highlight of the visit is the expected signing of two major bilateral agreements: the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or CEPA, the first free trade deal between the Philippines and a Middle Eastern country, and a Memorandum of Understanding or MOU on defense cooperation. The CEPA is projected to expand Philippine market access across the Gulf region, while the Defense MOU will strengthen collaboration in advanced defense technologies. President Marcos emphasized that the outcomes of the visit will benefit Filipinos at home and the 900,000 Filipinos living in the UAE, one of the largest overseas communities in the region. The chief executive will also hold business meetings and meet with members of the Filipino community. Ambassador Ver earlier noted that this second visit in just 14 months underscores the deepening ties between Manila and Abu Dhabi, with growing cooperation in climate adaptation, renewable energy, the digital economy, and artificial intelligence. Beyond defense, Ver highlighted ongoing cooperation in counterterrorism, transnational crime, illegal drugs, and human trafficking, noting that bilateral relations have expanded far beyond traditional labor concerns. He added that emerging areas of cooperation now include artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and the digital economy, sectors where the Philippines is building strong competitive advantages. President Marcos is also scheduled to hold business meetings and meet with the Filipino community during his stay in Abu Dhabi.
November 2024. So in a short span of time, dalawang beses na sila magkikita with His Highness, the President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al UAE. And before that, it was 15 years bago uli nagka-visit, no? So tapos biglang magkasunod. Symbolically and substantively, ang laki nung ibig sabihin nun, ano? Not just for the visit itself, but his attendance to the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. Pag-uusapan natin dito yan, mga how we deal with climate change, mga sustainable economies, renewable energy, something which are very important also to the Philippines. Alam mo, sinasabi nila, we're one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change. So we need all the help that we can get. But aside from that, we're also here to share what we know para ibahagi at ibida rin natin mga ginagawa natin. Hindi lang, kasi nga, dahil malaki na experience natin dyan, alam na rin natin. No? And we want to share this to the world. And that is a very big forum. No? Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week is annual. And this, I just came from a briefing actually. And there are at least 12 or 14 other heads of state who are coming. In addition to that, yung signing agreements, no? One is the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which has been negotiated for a long time. We were one of the very first countries to be offered to conclude this agreement, and finally we're doing it. Training, exchange of officers, information sharing, kasi they have also a very highly developed defense capabilities here that we can benefit from. Like we also have a security agreement with them. On the civilian side naman, we share information on, for example, terrorism or transnational crime, ganyan mga drugs, mga trafficking of persons. So, iba na yung level. Ang gusto kong pakita, iba na yung level natin. It's all expanding into previously untapped na hindi natin kasi nga of course, the focus is on our workers. But now, they see that we've elevated our relations.
As President Marcos is the first Philippine leader to visit the UAE since 2008 to ensure uninterrupted government operations while the president is abroad. Executive Secretary Ralph Recto, Agrarian Reform Secretary Conrado Estrella III, and Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rex Gatchalian have been designated as caretakers.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before his departure for the United Arab Emirates, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led a ceremony at Malacañang Palace on Monday to formally confer the rank of Rear Admiral on Andrew Val Abayon, commander of the Presidential Security Command or PSC. Abayon, who previously held the rank of Commodore in the Philippine Navy, assumed leadership of the PSC on November 20th, 2025, becoming its 43rd commander. The PSC serves as the Armed Forces' premier protective unit, responsible for safeguarding the President, the First Family, and the Malacañang Palace complex. President Marcos approved Abayon's promotion to Rear Admiral on January 5, 2026. Before taking command of the PSC, Abayon held several key posts in the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP. His assignments include leading the Naval Special Warfare Force, serving as Commandant of the Special Intelligence Training School, directing the AFP Leadership Development Center, commanding the Philippine Navy Special Operations Group, and heading the Maritime Research Information Center under Naval Intelligence and Security. He also previously led the Naval Intelligence and Security Group, Western Mindanao. A member of the Philippine Military Academy class of 1994, Abayon has completed extensive local and international training. His credentials include studies at the Joint Military Intelligence Training Center in Washington, D.C., the AFP Command and General Staff Course, the Development Academy of the Philippines, the U.S. Naval War College, and the National Defense College of the Philippines.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. witnessed the historic signing of the Philippines' first Free Trade Agreement or FTA with a Middle Eastern country during his visit to Abu Dhabi. The Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or CEPA was signed by Trade Secretary Maria Cristina Roque at the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week or ADSW 2026 Summit, with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in attendance. The pact aims to reduce tariffs, expand market access for goods and services, and create new opportunities for Filipino professionals and businesses in the UAE. Key sectors include digital trade, MSMEs, tourism, healthcare, and IT BPM. Philippine exports expected to benefit include bananas, pineapples, canned tuna, electronics and machinery, while preliminary studies project a nearly 10% boost in trade with the Gulf nation. The signing underscores a deepening partnership between Manila and Abu Dhabi and complements the Philippines' broader network of free trade agreements worldwide.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has lauded the Filipino community in the United Arab Emirates for their contributions to both their host country and the Philippines, calling them a source of pride and honor for the nation. Speaking to around 700 Filipinos at the Intercontinental Hotel in Abu Dhabi, President Marcos highlighted their role in the UAE's development and praised the resilience and dedication of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs worldwide.
Kayo po ang nagbibigay ng karangalan sa ating bansa pamamagitan ng inyong kontribusyon sa United Arab Emirates. Sa magandang ehemplo na inyong ipinakita sa inyong trabaho, sa inyong mga kapwa Pilipino, sa pamahalaan ng UAE, sa iba't ibang mga lahi na nanirirahan dito, at sa kontribusyon ng inyong ibinigay sa ekonomiya sa ating minamahal na Pilipinas.
The President assured OFWs that the government remains committed to protecting their welfare and expanding opportunities through trade, investment, and skills development programs.
Your achievements bring honor to the nation, a nation that is truly and genuinely proud and grateful to all of you.
President Marcos also witnessed the signing of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or CEPA and a Defense Cooperation Memorandum with the UAE, strengthening ties in trade, security, and partnership.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has met with top executives of Damac Digital to discuss planned investments in the Philippines, including the establishment of what could be the country's largest data center in Laguna Province. The meeting took place in Abu Dhabi, where the President and Damac Digital founder, Hussein Sashwani, explored collaboration in digital infrastructure, highlighting the Philippines' potential as a regional hub for data centers, cloud services, and artificial intelligence or AI technologies. President Marcos assured full government support for the investment, calling it a priority sector for national development. The meeting formed part of the President's two-day working visit to Abu Dhabi, which included his participation in the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week 2026 Summit and the signing of the Philippines-UAE Trade Agreement. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. returned Wednesday to the Philippines following a two-day working visit to the United Arab Emirates or UAE, where he secured a landmark free trade agreement or FTA and a defense cooperation pact aimed at strengthening bilateral ties between the two countries. President Marcos said his visit focused on advancing discussions on building a future-ready world, particularly through cooperation in key sectors such as energy, water, finance, food, and the environment, stressing that these have direct impact on Filipinos at home and abroad. He participated in high-level discussions during the Abu Dhabi Sustainable Week or ADSW, which he described as the largest gathering of world leaders focused on sustainability and global development. President Marcos said major outcomes of his visit was the signing of the Philippines-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or CEPA, the country's first free trade agreement with the Gulf state. He said the agreement would expand Philippine market access in the Middle East, especially in the Gulf region, while diversifying sources and markets for essential goods. A key feature of the CEPA is the liberalization of trade in services in the UAE, including professional services, health, construction, and information technology. The president also reported the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding or MOU on defense cooperation, which will serve as a platform for collaboration on advanced defense technologies including unmanned aerial systems, electronic warfare, and naval systems. President Marcos said the agreement would further strengthen defense and military relations through education and training, intelligence and security sharing, and cooperation in anti-terrorism, maritime security, and peacekeeping operations. President Marcos Jr. expressed appreciation to UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and the UAE government for hosting the Sustainability Forum and for fostering stronger bilateral relations grounded in long-standing people-to-people ties. The chief executive said the Philippines will continue to enhance relations with partner countries to strengthen the economy and promote peace and stability for the benefit of the Filipino people.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Wednesday said Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. continues to have confidence in the Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI despite criticisms and questions about the body's viability. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the president has not withdrawn his trust in the ICI, stressing that its mandate remains focused on accountability.
Siguro po, muli kay Mayor Magalong, wag niya naman muna pong pangunahan kung anong nasa isip ng Pangulo. Sa ngayon po, nandiyan po ang tiwala ng Pangulo sa ICI. Ang nais lang din po ay mapanagot ang lahat mapanagot. Walang sinisino, walang kinikilingan. At hayaan na lang po natin muna kung ano po ang mangyayari sa ICI dahil sa ngayon po, ang tiwala ng Pangulo sa ICI ay nandiyan pa rin po. So kung ano man po ang sinasabi ng iba, hayaan na natin at huwag pangunahan ng Pangulo.
She made the statement following remarks by Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong, who rated the ICI's performance poorly and called for its abolition, and former Senate President Franklin Drilon, who earlier said the commission could no longer function. Castro said the palace would rather allow ICI to complete its work instead of preempting the president's position. Addressing concerns that the ICI has been left with only one commissioner following recent departures, Castro said the lack of commissioners does not prevent the body from recommending cases for investigation. She added that even if only ICI Chair retired Justice Andres Reyes remains, the Commission can still recommend the filing of cases provided there is sufficient evidence. The palace official clarified that since the ICI's function is recommendatory, it does not necessarily require a quorum to forward cases to the Department of Justice or the Office of the Ombudsman. President Marcos created the independent fact-finding body in September last year to investigate alleged irregularities in government flood control and other infrastructure projects.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Wednesday, Malacañang dismissed as fake news allegations linking 7.5 billion pesos in government funds to the Office of the Executive Secretary or OES, saying the claims were based on unverified documents and unsupported insinuations. Palace Press Officer and Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro said the allegations based on the so-called Cabral files allegedly obtained by Batangas 1st District Representative Leandro Leviste are not validated.
So di po ba mas mahirap tugunan ang mga dokumentong hindi nakikita? Mahirap tugunan ang mga dokumentong puro insinuations. Mahirap tugunan ang mga dokumentong wala pang anumang basihan at wala pang ebidensya ng anumang anomalya. At nakausap naman din po natin ang Office of the Executive Secretary. Mula sa Office of the Executive Secretary. Ang pinatutungkulan pong ito ay tinaguriang fake news.
Leviste earlier called for an immediate and thorough investigation into 7.5 billion pesos worth of Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH infrastructure projects for 2025, which allegedly tagged as OPESSAP as the supposed proponent. His call came amid an ongoing probe into alleged flood control anomalies.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday said the Philippines is now firmly positioned to compete in the global shift toward green maritime transport. The president made the statement as he led the naming and delivery of the Brave Pioneer, the world's first dual-fuel, methanol-powered Kamsarmax bulk carrier built in the country. The vessel, identified as hull number SC443, can carry up to 81,200 metric tons and was constructed by Tsuneshi Shipbuilding at the West Cebu Estate in Balamban, Cebu. President Marcos said the launch of the methanol-capable ship places the Philippines on the global map as a future-ready maritime manufacturing hub aligned with international decarbonization goals. The president added that the milestone proves the country's capability to produce high-value, technologically advanced vessels as the world moves toward cleaner fuels and stricter emissions standards. The Kamsarmax vessel is engineered to significantly cut carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur oxide emissions, meeting the benchmark set by the International Maritime Organization. The chief executive also reaffirmed the government's commitment to boost the shipbuilding and ship repair sector through incentives under the CREATE law supporting modernization, low-carbon technologies, and higher-value manufacturing. As of November 2025, the Philippines has more than 130 registered shipyards employing over 11,000 workers, 70% of whom are skilled professionals. In 2024 alone, the country produced 484 vessels, from fishing boats to passenger and cargo ships. President Marcos said the Brave Pioneer stands as a symbol of what innovation, international collaboration, and Filipino craftsmanship can achieve, adding that the Philippines is shaping itself into a maritime hub capable of meeting the demands of global trade while protecting the environment.
This achievement sends a clear message to the whole world. The Philippines is ready to lead in the global transition towards low-carbon and sustainable maritime transport. This occasion not only celebrates the launching of a vessel, it is also a celebration of progress and of innovation. And above all, we celebrate the Filipino capacity to rise to the challenge of a rapidly changing world. This accomplishment stands as an example of what can be achieved through strong international partnerships. The collaboration between Japan and the Philippines, between the Tsuneshi Group and the Aboitiz Group, brings together advanced ship design, skilled Filipino labor, and a robust domestic manufacturing base. While this project is a product of bilateral cooperation, it is also, and very importantly, a showcase of Filipino craftsmanship, ingenuity, and competitiveness. It proves once again that what is made in the Philippines can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best of anywhere in the world. The Kamsarmax vessel SC443 is designed to significantly reduce emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur oxides. It places the Philippines firmly on the map as a future-ready maritime manufacturing hub, aligned with International Maritime Organization decarbonization targets and global sustainability standards. It is especially vital as we move towards green shipping, an approach that embraces cleaner fuels, optimized vessel design, improved energy management, and sustainable shipping corridors. They are concrete steps towards protecting our environment while continuing to grow the economy.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Friday lauded the new partnership between Globe Telecom and Starlink, calling it a major leap toward expanding digital access nationwide. Speaking at the signing of their Memorandum of Agreement or MOA in Taguig City, the President said the initiative, Next Generation Connectivity Every Filipino Connected, strengthens the country's push for digital inclusion. The collaboration will bring Starlink's direct-to-cell or DTC service to the Philippines, allowing smartphones to connect directly to satellites without extra devices or apps. President Marcos said this will enable messaging and basic data even in areas without cell sites, crucial during disasters when traditional networks fail. The chief executive added that improved connectivity in far-flung communities will spur jobs, attract investments, and bring essential services closer to Filipinos. The President also highlighted how the project complements government efforts such as the National Fiber Backbone and the Free Wi-Fi for All program. DTC technology allows regular LTE phones to link directly to low Earth orbit satellites, expanding coverage to remote islands, mountainous regions, and underserved rural areas.
This partnership between Globe and Starlink introduces an option for expanding mobile connectivity, especially in areas where traditional infrastructure remains challenging. Through the launch of direct-to-cell or DTC service, first in Southeast Asia and second in Asia, we made satellite-powered mobile connectivity available in the Philippines. It is a service that allows smartphones to directly connect to Starlink's low-orbit satellites. No additional hardware, no special applications required. It enables basic internet access, such as messaging and data, whilst connected to the satellite network. During typhoons and disasters, there seems like a natural use for this system. When cell towers can fail and networks can go silent, this service can mean the difference between isolation and connection, between uncertainty and reassurance. Sa pamamagitan ng DTC service, madadagdagan ng mga teknolohiyang maaring magbibigay ginhawa sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service can be heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. Radyo Pilipinas World Service is also live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang in Review. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.